Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmiel Shai Bashem Rakak Wadash, and double honors to that apostles of the great millstone that have taught me what I know today, and also including the bishops on down to Yahweh Bashmiel Shai Brakatham, to the 144,000 that do continue to teach, and as well as those that continue to follow as well. And what I want to get into is this over here. You know, first and foremost, Salakia for not putting up any lessons. And Lord willing, I will continue to be, more diligent in the times to come in the future. Now, what I want to get into is this over here, because, this is looking very, very suspect. Elon Musk just basically revealed that Biden has flown, as it reads, 320,000 unvetted migrants into the U.S. And as it reads, has a national security vulnerabilities, right? And, first and foremost, Elon Musk, as of it stands right now, nowadays, is looking like he's a man for the people. Even as well as, now that I talk about Elon Musk, you have another guy that's just now, up in the air, which has always been never seen because of his belief in things. And I'm talking about George Galloway. All right. So you have these men, but let's just focus on Elon Musk here. Let's just focus on this guy. This guy has been acting as though he's been for the people, which I believe personally, Elon Musk is nothing more than Poe's opposition, a double agent of that. That's just what I think. And I mean, of course, this is the man that has to say something, because again, he has a social platform which allows people to express what they feel anyway. So it would be very reasonable for this man to be looking like he's against the group that he's a part of in regards to the migrant situation. So, and I mean, he's right on what he's saying. He's absolutely correct, because if you're going to just allow tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people that don't belong in America, that haven't been authorized to be in the country, and they're just coming into the country by aircraft, and not only that, but just to make make things a little bit worse, is the fact that these people have been undetected, from going into the country. Okay, and because of that, you might have very well, let me just use another word, the T word. You might have a bunch of T's in there that could cause some kind of panic. Now, speaking about how you may have men that could very well be agents of destruction, let's even talk about this man over here, as the FBI is now alleging, or have alleged, that this man over here, Majid Dashjani Farhani, he's looking to seek to kill Donald J. Trump, because under Donald J. Trump's administration, you had a very important man to the military of Iran by the name of Qasem Soleimani. He was assassinated. So they're saying that this guy, he's looking to kill Donald J. Trump, as they have over here. And you already know my take on this, man. I'm going to say that this is, again, suspect. This is very suspect. So what they're doing is they're predictively programming you to know that, see, look, yeah, this terrorist possibly in the United States that could very well cause some kind of panic, or let's just say a psychological aberration that can cause mass hysteria. Because Elon Musk as well, now that it's come to my mind now, what he said the same thing that the representative of South Carolina said. which I think his name is Joe Wilson or Addison Gray or something to that equivalent, but he was at the Congress meeting and he spoke about that, how you have different migrants coming into the U.S. through the South. And he said the same thing what he said. And I'm going to read some more of this article as well, because I don't think I've read it. So I'm gonna read this part over here. So let's read this. So Musk took to his platform X earlier Tuesday and said the president administration is important voters and creating a national security threat for secretly allowing illegal immigrants in the country. It is highly probable that the groundwork is being laid for something far worse than 9/11, just a matter of time, Musk said as he reposted a story from the Daily Mail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the man on post-production who I was briefly talking about, and you're going to hear him say the same thing. Joe Wilson, or also known as Addison Gray, a representative of South Carolina.
Over 110 times since Biden appeasement in Afghanistan, I have warned the global war on terrorism is not over as terrorists plan to attack American families with Biden open borders. The threat is clear, with the shocking number of trained, well-financed mass murderers who are invading America reaching 169 persons this year. Ukraine was invaded, then Israel, now America invaded. House Republicans addressed the issue earlier this year with the Secure the Border Act, blocked by Senate Democrats. It promotes restarting wall construction, advancing technology, adding border patrol, transparency on illegals, ending catch and release, and reversing executive authorities. Each congressional office has a rally point in the event of an attack, and I urge all families to plan a rally point. Communications may be disrupted, and every family member should know where to go for safety before roads are closed. In conclusion, God bless our troops who successfully protected America for 20 years. It is sadly clear there will be more 9/11s across America imminent, as the FBI has finally last week revealed.
So anyway, reads, the Tesla's created comment after a secret Biden's program was exposed, where the administration admitted to flying 320,000 migrants into the U.S. But officials refused to say who was flown and to where. Lawyers for the administration, immigration agency have claimed that revealing the locations of where these undocumented aliens are could create national security vulnerabilities. And the reason why they don't want to reveal that information, because they just want to allow them to freely come in the country to be in certain particular spots and places. All right. And if it's possible to cause, like I said, mass hysteria, man. All right. Because Esau needs something to give in order for them to drive the people towards a world order, which entails their life being under total control. And what I want to do is I want to read the book of Revelations 12. Let me make up another tab over here. Let's get that. Revelations 12 in verse 12. So as it reads, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that ye have but a short time. So what they need someone to cause some kind of devastation, just like what happened in 9/11, but something greater and worse than that, to get the party started. Because the goal is to go against the American people, so that they can then eventually force the people against their will towards a world order. Like I said, that involves them being fully controlled in the sense of implanting the people. All right. And because they can say, well, we need to know who you are. And as well as we need to know if you are going to be qualified as an American citizen. All right. So we need to really, keep tabs on everything on everybody. That's going to be the excuse. And, speaking about that, again, let's focus on this individual over here. Let's read a little bit more on this guy here, on this article. So this reads, FBI is hunting for an alleged Iranian spy it believes is involved in a plot to kill current and former U.S. government officials. The agency accuses Majid Farahani, 42, of plotting revenge for the killing of Iranian General Qasem Soleimani, commander of Iran's Quds Force, was assassinated in a U.S. drone attack in Iraq in January 2020. The FBI says Mr. Farahani has acted on the behalf of Iran's Ministry of Intelligence. In a notice posted on Friday, the FBI said it wanted Majid Farahani for questioning in connection with the recruitment of individuals for operation in the U.S. You see, so they can say, well, we don't know who you are. You might be a full-blooded American, born and raised in America, and have the citizenship to prove it. But what they want is they want to be able to get you implanted to see whether you are an official citizen of America or whether you are about your nation. Because remember, you got a lot of people now as well that don't want to fight these wars. So that's another excuse. Let me word it differently, correctly. This would be a greater excuse to get everybody implanted with the device, because that way they can see who's really down for the cause, who's really down for the nation, which it ain't about the nation. It's really who's down with their government in regards to the New World Order system. Okay. This is the scenario that they're going to create. Although you may speak American English, you may have the documents to show and prove all the way that you're an American citizen or whatever citizen you are. And if you are not going along with the get along, then we may have to basically hold you back or take you to a location that which is unknown to ship you there, because you are going against the grain when it comes to you getting an implant, whatever situation that is. But they want to create this environment of fear to get people down with what they want people to get down with, man. There's a song that's coming to my mind, man. Come on, get down with the get down. It's an old school hip hop song. Right? But you brothers get what I'm saying. Okay? Because this devil needs people to be behind him, because time is running out. And a lot of people are going to die in regards to this as well. A lot of people who they deem to be potential terrorists, which ain't nobody going to be no terrorists, because at the end of the day, most people are just average folk, and most people have their different beliefs and they just want to be left alone. But this is, again, going to be another excuse for people to be dealt with and executed, because, again, they want to knock a lot of people out. Because the more people, the more problematic society is going to be. We have too many people around the planet Earth, and we have too many people that are awakened to BS. So we need to go for the plan of the population, and that's always been in the books for the elite. Okay? All they want is just a bunch of serfs, people that don't think for themselves, but to be robotic. Because when you're robotic, you're not a threat. People that think independently, that have their own views, these are people that are going to hold up progress. There you go. These are people that are holding up progress for a world order system that they want to be created. So this is the reason why they're going to cause all of this in the first place, to get rid of those who they deem problematic to their system. All right. So this also proves as well that they're not going to be forcing no implant down your throat to go and take. If they have to force an implant down your throat to take to receive the mark of the what, then that means you're not good for the system. All right. That's why it reads in Revelation 13. Let me read this again, man. Revelation 13. Oh, man. Verse 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And that's what they've been doing to all of these politicians. The politicians that haven't not been playing the game for the central bankers, they've been put to death. So just imagine listen, they're going to apply the same concept. All right. They're going to apply the same thing upon those that don't want to take the implant. You're going to be put to death. This is why it reads in the book of Revelations, the 20th chapter. Let's read it. Revelations 20, and I believe it's verse 4. And this is John the Revelator visualizing what he saw. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua, and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image. See, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with the anointed Yahushua 1,000 years. So there you have it. So there's going to be people that are not going to go ahead with the orders that be. And they're going to be put to death, especially the elect. Some of the elect are going to be put to death. But as it is also written, they that be dead in the anointed one or in Yahushua shall rise first. So it's going to be as if they've transitioned from one place to another place. Okay. So that's just the point on that right there. I said what I had to say on that. So this is the thing. They want to thin the herd greatly because they need people that are going to go along with their plans no matter what, even if it affects them, because it's always about what they want. It's not about what people want. It's never been about the interest of the public. It's always been about the interest of themselves. That's why you have these politicians there in the first place. They're posed as public servants, but really they're servants of another's interest, which is the central bankers. All right. And you see people that talk like how I talk, they need people like me out of the way. So that's why they're going to create these kind of scenarios to get rid of people like myself. Because when we're here alive, what are we telling you? We're telling you the truth of what the real agenda is, and what that does, that holds progress. So let me continue to read on with this. The largest problem the largest problem is Washington is this ideological bubble. And they have decided the world has to be refashioned in a new image that exists only in their minds. And that is the truth. Because what they need is a new world system, because the old world system is no longer in the workings for them anymore. People are waking up day by day, and people are reporting to the police of the VWC issue. You have the whistleblower that are really supposed to keep their mouth shut because they have confidential information. All of this is happening in live time. All right. So that's why, again, this is why they got to cause something that's going to create mass hysteria to the point of a change of a world that demands everybody to be under their control so that they can sleep good at night, because they can't right now. They're losing sleep. And that's why if you look at a lot of these politicians and even the bankers in some cases, hence is why one of them have died. Actually, two of them have died. You know, we talk about Evelyn Rothschild, and then as we fast forward 3 years later, another one dies. Jacob Rothschild dies, so-called, because he ain't no Jacobite. He's an Edomite. Okay? Many important people that were old, that upheld this system by their sorcery and witchcraft have passed away due to a great deal of stress. And as well as we're finding out that King Charles III himself has a worse kind of cancer, they're saying, because the man's under stress. So a lot of these old cats is under stress, man, because what they're seeing is that their plans are not probably going to work. And it's scaring the shit out of them, because these are people that have been very, very comfortable as long as we've known them for. You know, some of us are young, some of us are older, but we've all been alive to have seen how excellent they've been living, somehow, somewhere, on the television, any doggone way. All right, so they're not trying to lose everything that they have. They have a whole lot to lose, and if that means they have to kill as much people as possible, then that's so be. But in that, the Lord is going to deceive them to destroy their own selves. Now, let's even get that in the precept as well, because we know, according to the book of Galatians 6 and 7, how that reads. That what is it? Let's begin by reading that first. We know it's a basic scripture, but we're going to read that first. Galatians 6 and 7. And it's going to lead to other precepts as well that I have in mind. Be not deceived, for the Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Okay? So they're going to reap the same energy that they put out there. The energy of death that they're going to come down with is that same energy is going to ricochet against them. Is going to backfire. Now let's get the book of Galatians 3 and 25, shall we? Galatians 3 and 25, if I'm correct. Let's get this. No, it's Colossians. It's in the book of Colossians 3 and 25. It got to be Colossians 3 and 25. And we will read this over here. But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which he have done, and there is no respect of persons. There you have it. So all of the wrong that has been accumulated that they have done, and even what's going to be done in the future, will be put into account. And after that's all said and done, they're going to play out their judgment here on this earth. And as well as the elites, they also know that there's going to be certain among us that are going to survive all of this, as that's read in the book of Mark, the 9th chapter. Let's get Mark 9 and 1. This is what Yahushua said, right? In the midst of his transfiguration. And he said unto them, verily I say unto you, in other words, truly, that there be some of them that stand here which shall not taste of death until they have seen the kingdom of the Most High with power. So those that remain, that are beamed up unto the Lord himself, will be transfigured into spiritual beings with extraterrestrial power. Once they're set back down here on this earth, they're going to slap chains on those that remain alive under the earth, inside of those underground bunkers. And they're going to be put right into captivity. This is what they know. And this is why they're going to go crazy. Another reason why they're going to go crazy on them. All right. So now let's go back. And now let's read something else. Because there was another precept that I had in mind as well. Oh, yes, there's this over here. Wrath shall slay the silly one, right? Wrath shall slay. I know, let me do this instead. Silly one. Right. Job 5 and verse 2. Here we have it. For wrath killeth the foolish man, and envy slayeth the silly one. So there you go. So when we read the book of Revelations 12 and 12, let's read this. This is why this reads as well. Revelations 12 and 12. That's why it reads this. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, and woe to the inhabitants of the earth. That's why it also mentions that too. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So should we be mournful in this? No. It says, therefore rejoice. And it also mentions woe to the inhabitants of the earth. Why does it say that? Because after all of this has been aired out, guess what? That same stuff is coming right back onto them. And they're going to be put out of them. They're going to be put out as well. They're going to be put to death too. Anyway. Now the ones of them that don't get put to death, they're going to remain on the earth, and they're going to be in slavery. So they're going to suffer a form of death in that kind of fashion They're going to go from being in a heavenly estate to being in a hellish estate. And they're going to experience a form of death. But they're just going to be alive, if you know what I'm saying. All right? So that's where all of this is going, man. That's where the bus is going to stop. Right there and there. You see, the bus has its roots. There's a beginning of it and there's an end of it. And that's where the bus is going to stop. They're going to go right into slavery after all of the dust is cleared. So now, let's go back and we're going to read something else now. Because the Colonel McGregor, which I believe the word McGregor is an Irish last name, but it also means the son of two. And this guy's probably a Jake as well, man, because he's coming with a lot of truth as of lately. You know, he's been on Redactive for quite a bit of while, and now he's on the Tucker Carlson show that he has. So this reads, Tucker Carlson compares U.S. to the fall of the Roman Empire. The former Fox News host Tucker Carlson has suggested a bipartisan proposal allowing some illegal migrants to join the U.S. military would lead to conditions that mirror the fall of the Roman system. Carlson said in a 1-minute video shared to YouTube on Monday that Rome fell because its military became dominated by non-citizens. I mean, he's right, but then we got to back up a little bit. The Roman system became weak. One of the reasons because the Roman soldiers were spread too thin, which is what is going on right now. You have about, let me go and check it out before I say the number, because I'm going to say it and I'm going to be wrong. So I want to just make sure that I'm correct. But there's a lot of American bases around the world. There's an abundance of them. So let me do this. Yes, around, I was going to say 800, but it says right here, there's about 750 U.S. military bases in at least 80 countries. So there you have it. So that's what the Romans did. They spreaded their military all around, and America's done the same thing. And also it reads to YouTube on Monday that Rome fell because its military became dominated by non-citizens. And the conservative pundit then suggested that history could repeat itself with a House proposal that would recruit qualified migrants who cross the border illegally into the U.S. military. And I mean, that's correct, because, again, I can't say anything against what he just said, because obviously Tucker Carlson, he's in the business of news, and he's been in that business for years. He has experience, so he knows inside information. Like, if you've been into the news business for quite a while and you get up into the, just like any job, you get promoted to different positions in it. Guess what? There's certain information that's revealed to you, man. All right. So he knows. Tucker Carlson knows stuff that we probably even know. If we actually found out what Tucker Carlson knew, if he was to find out what Tucker Carlson knew, it would substantiate the truth that we bring to you. Okay. So, so let me read some more of this right here. Where was that? The conservative pundit then suggested that history could repeat itself with a House proposal that would recruit qualified migrants who cross the border illegally into the U.S. military. The Democratic Congressman Pat Brown of New York and Republican Congressman John James of Michigan recently proposed a bill known as the Courage Serve Act, which would allow certain unlawful migrants who are qualified and vetted to apply for permanent residence and be put on a path to citizenship if they join the military, just like what it reads in the book of Revelations 13 and verse, I believe it's verse 1. Verse, I think it's verse 3. No, that's not it. Hold on, wait there. He giveth him over. I want to read the verse where it reads, he exerciseth the power of the first beast, right? So that's got to be in Revelations, verse 12. We have it right here. And he exerciseth all of the power of the first beast before him in cause of the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, which is referring to the Roman system that we are now under. Now, during the time of after the Dark Ages, you have what was called the Renaissance period, which is right around the time when you had Cristobal Colon and Cesare Borgia and the Roman Catholic institution, which really brought back, I would say, this Roman system. All right. And around that same time, you also had the first slaves that was transported from one place to another place in 1444, which were Jakes from Spain. Okay. And that's why the Roman Catholic institution is very powerful and very important to the system, because the Roman Catholic institution is nothing more than a spiritual part of this system. To any society, you need the priests. You need a spiritual aspect of it, which is the most important part of it anyway, right? But anyway, it was through the Roman Catholics that actually spawned this system. And I might do a video on that. That's a video for another moment in time. But it was by them that brought their philosophies all around the world. And if you didn't believe in their philosophies, you was put to death. And obviously they brought forth this belief that if you didn't believe in what they were saying, you was going to burn in hell. And this is why you Christians, and as well as even certain Muslims, or Muslims in general, believe in this statement, because all of these various religions that are powerful today, two of them anyway, the Christianity and as well as the Muslim doctrine, spawned from the Roman Catholic institution. Again, that's another video for another time. All right. And that's why y'all believe in the same thing. Y'all believe in the virgin birth and stuff like that. Okay. And as well as the hellfires, which that's not even biblical. That's not even real. That's nothing more than Greek mythology. Okay. So anyway, Revelations 13 and 12. And he exerciseth all of the power of the first beast before him, in cause of the earth and them that dwell therein, to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And what was the power of the first beast? It's military. The ancient Roman Empire was strong because of its military power. So this is what they've been doing. They've been exercising their military power as the ancient Romans did. So now what you have is you have people that have become feminized through the mainstream media. And now you have a bunch of men talking about on TikTok how they don't want to fight these wars and how they don't want to get behind and their government and fight in Russia, so to speak. So now what they need other nations to get drawn into this military, into their military, to fight for them. And primarily is as well as to hold the American people under martial law conditions, primarily. Okay. So knowing that, as we do consider this series of facts, he continues, this country has been flooded with tens of millions of illegal aliens, and at least 7.2 million. That's the official number that have ended since Joe Biden became president. So these are people that we didn't even know about around the time when he was coming in office. We didn't even know about all of this at the time. All right. So again, there's a reason for all of this, man. And the reason is so that they can use these people to get involved in this third world, which is coming quickly, and as well as to oppress the American people severely. All right. Just like I've mentioned, I can't mention anything else other than that. But the ultimate reason why I've spoken about this is to say once again, another thing that I will say again, ultimately, is that prophecy will play out, that a time that was not since, let me just read it. And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people. This is Daniel 7:1. And there shall be a time of trouble, such as was never since there was a nation even to the same time. And at that time, thy people shall be delivered, and everyone that shall be found written in the book. So that's the time that's upon us, a time of trouble, such as was since there was a nation. This is what's being put together so that it can be active eventually. This is what the Heavenly Father is putting together, all of this. And this is what we're all about, the witness, the world overall. Okay. So that's pretty much all I have to say. I don't think I had anything else to say on this right here. That's it. That's all I have to say. Actually, let me read one more scripture. This is 2nd Ezra 15, because I did mention previously that there's going to be wars among the people, and as well as you're going to have civil wars too, which is also mentioned in the book of 2nd Ezra 15, and as well as verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. This is another prophecy of Ezra. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be seditions among men, and invading one another, and they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. And a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's why you have what you call those 15-minute cities. But it's going to get worse than worrying about 15-minute cities, because when a world or a country is under martial law conditions, streets are cut off. There's going to be certain places you cannot go to in that time. So they're gonna stick you in that one little place, and you're gonna be there. They're gonna make sure you're stuck in that one little place, and if you try to go beyond that place, then you're gonna suffer some serious repercussions out of that. All right. So all of this is coming. That's why it reads, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." So you're gonna have people shooting off their guns against other people. The government is gonna get in the mix up too, in regards to fighting against these people, and it's just gonna get crazy. It's gonna become just like how it was, or how it is going on right now in Gaza. These prominent places that were lying and dwelling in peace is going to be just like those places that I've just mentioned. Places like Gaza, places like Baghdad when they got invaded by the Western powers back in the early 2000s. That's how the environment is going to be all around in these Western countries, primarily America and down here in the UK. You're going to see a totally different world. You see, people got a lot to complain about now, but they ain't seen nothing yet. And they're really going to have something to complain about when all of this comes to pass, which is what we're prophesying about. Okay, and we will continue to do the same. So that's all I have to say with this. Like I said, I don't want to say any more. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son for giving us this knowledge and this truth to deliver us in these last days. And as well as Yahweh Bashmiel Shai Brakatham to the elect. Okay, and including the one that do follow. And once again, giving all praises to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh Bashmiel Shai. All right, so with that, I'm out. Shalom.